What's up guys, Tommy Bennett here, and today I'm gonna teach you guys how to be way more awesome at riding one-footed. We're gonna be talking about, should you put your foot on the front side, on your toe edge, or your back side? How the heck do we get off a chairlift? How do we go from one spot to another? How do we keep up with people on a pow day? So this is a beginner guide, but we're also gonna have some more intermediate to advanced techniques in this video, so that once you nail all this beginner stuff, you can keep crushing it throughout the rest of your career, and that's the goal, is to make you guys as awesome as possible. So yeah, let's get started. First things first, when it comes to doing one-footed, you may be asking, all right, Tommy, should my foot be on the toe side edge pushing, or should it be on the back side edge pushing? And my suggestion is, for the majority of the time, I love having my back foot on my heel side edge. Two reasons why that's such an advantage for you is you allow your shoulders, hips, and board all to point in the same direction. And I'm gonna talk about the toe side on how that's a disadvantage, but you got your body, everything's all pointed in one direction, and it's so much easier to control your board and tell your board where to go. I'm trying to get to the lift line over there. Well, I gotta make sure that everything's pointing in that same way so I'm not working against myself. The other thing is you can lift up your toe and actually have your heel side edge engage in the snow, which allows you to grip or cut across and slice the snow. And it may be a lot easier to traverse one-footed if you're trying to get to a lift line or a friend. So you have a lot more functionality with that. Now that I'm on my toe side edge, what ends up happening is my board wants to go this direction, my shoulder wants to go this direction, and I start doing this like really weird walk, and I start slipping around, and I'm actually exerting so much energy than I need to. It's so much harder. So if I'm sliding around like this, it's harder, but as soon as I go here, everything can slide as one. Now let's say you're an advanced snowboarder and you want to push from the front, you can definitely get away with it, but a couple of things that I encounter is that my heel will keep clicking my high back or my bindings, and I keep like tripping up, and then I fall over in the lift line and people are like, what are you doing? So experiment with that, find which one's easier for you, but I highly suggest learning pushing from your heel side because there's a lot more functionality to it, a lot more benefits, and really it's just gonna make life way easier. And if you're like super comfortable on your toe side edge, it may take time to break that habit, but I definitely highly suggest like do it that way. It just makes life way easier in the long run. We're gonna go snowboard a little bit, and we're gonna talk about some more nerdy stuff. Now you understand which side you should be pushing from. Now the next question, the next logical thing is, where the heck do I put my foot? So you have a couple different options, and to me it's very situational. It depends what you're trying to do. Now if you're trying to get off of a chairlift just like this, you'll notice that I take my back foot and I apply it against the back binding, and I really apply a lot of pressure. What's nice about pressing your free foot against the back binding is that you're able to really engage a lot of your muscles and feel connected with the board. You're gonna have a stable platform as well because your feet are wider. So if I need maximum balance, that's the tactic I wanna use. Like I said, getting off of a chairlift, it's so variable at times. Well, I wanna have a stable platform. Now let's say that I need to navigate through some people. Well, I actually like to bring my foot closer to the center, so I have a center pivot point, or more of a pivot point over the front foot. What it allows my board to do is spin really fast and really be able to turn, which allows me to navigate. So I may need to change where my foot placement is simply based on what application. And the way I ride, I'll literally be moving my foot all the time. I just move it out, move it in, move it out. It just depends on what I'm trying to do. I also like to do one foot to catch some air. Because I want to stay connected with my board, I'll also press my foot against the high back so that I am nice and stable once I'm in the air. So that's also situational. Do you want your foot in the middle or foot in the out? Then you guys are probably asking, yo, Tommy, dude, what about a stomp pad? My views on stomp pads is, if you need them, heck yeah, use them. I personally do not use the stomp pad because I'm comfortable with applying enough pressure to my high back that I feel stable. If you don't feel stable, get a stomp pad. Do you. What's up, guys? So we're gonna interrupt real quick. I'm gonna do a product review of this sick backpack. I'm so hyped on this thing. So douchebags reached out to me and they're like, hey Tommy, you wanna do a product review? And I'm like, yes please, because they actually sponsor a bunch of really insanely cool and good snowboarders. So I was like, dude, your guys' stuff is obviously backed by a bunch of people. Let's check it out. Let's get hyped on it. One of my favorite features about this backpack, other than its size, super convenient. It's not excessively big, which I was super pumped on, but it has these really sick straps. Well, as you guys know, we put our snowboards on it. It's so dope, but it's not like a clicky little thing. They actually got a really cool mechanism to undo it, and then you just simply put your snowboard on, and then you hook it over, and then it locks in. It was really easy to use. It held my snowboard really, really well. And then of course, backpacks these days need to have a ginormous computer pocket, so this thing actually fits. I have the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and this thing fits that like perfectly. I really like the material, and of course it's on brand, right? The red color is so flipping sick. So if you guys are looking for a backpack for this season, I'm gonna be rocking this thing all the time. So if you see me, you might be seeing my backpack out there. Don't steal it because I like this thing too much, but I'll be rocking this backpack all season long. If you guys are looking for a backpack of high quality and that are really integrated in the snowboard industry, go ahead and check them out. The link is going to be down in the description below. So one of the most intimidating places to be pushing one foot or riding one foot is going to be in the maze. This can be super intimidating because we got people, we got pressure, we got to move. We don't want to waste everybody's time, so it can be really challenging. So a couple tips for you guys is, as you're pushing with your back foot, don't do little baby pushes, but don't do obsessively large, big, absurd pushes. Do medium pushes. What I like to do is take my back foot and I start just behind my lead foot and I push to about my back binding. That's a really good range. Of course, sometimes you can do smaller. Of course, you can do bigger, but that's like a happy medium. Also, I like to have about 70% of my weight on my lead foot. Enough weight if my back foot kind of slips that I can still like balance, but not too much weight where I fall over. So that's like the first thing. The next thing is, when you're boarding the chairlift, there's that stop, you know, the little place where you stop and you gotta go. Don't panic, just take medium steps, keep it controlled. You do have enough time, and if the lifties, if you need to slow it down, but just take those medium steps. If you start to panic, then all of a sudden you're gonna slip out, fall. Now we're stopping the chairlift, and that's not fun. So take medium steps, don't panic, just breathe and take those steps and focus on moving forward. So next we're gonna talk about getting off this chairlift. What I love to do is keep my shoulders, hips, and board all stacked on top of each other. As I get off the chairlift, I want to give myself a little bit of a push so I'm separated from the chairlift, and I'll push with my back hand, not my front hand, but I push off just a little bit, and then my shoulders, hips, and knees gotta match the slope of the terrain. So if the off ramp is 20 degrees, well, I want to make sure my whole body's at 20 degrees. If all of my weight is in the back foot, all of a sudden I'm gonna slip out and fall, and it's not sick. So you may have to apply additional pressure to your lead foot to make sure everything's stacked. In addition to applying that pressure, look out ahead. If you're staring down at the ice, you're gonna go down. Keep your eyes up and looking where you're going, and then find something to stare at. It might be a trash can, it might be somebody, but really put your energy to going out and then slow down. Don't try to stop immediately after the ramp because it's probably icy. So ride out, slow down, then you're gonna have a sick day. Woo! So when you jump off the chairlift and you're avoiding all those people, at some point you gotta stop. What I like to do, for the most part, is make a heel side edge turn, because it's just way easier being able to turn and balance and see what's below you. And to make this a little bit easier, what I like to do is take my heel and actually hang it off my board just a little bit. What that allows me to do is have my heel dig into the snow and create a little bit more friction. And then I'm actually able to balance either on my back foot or my front foot a little bit easier. I can start to navigate my body a little bit better. Instead of my back foot just flopping around everywhere, I'm actually creating friction and being able to manage my speed. Now, you may have to sink your belly button down, get low, and be able to manage the pressures if you're trying to stop fast. And you'll see an example here. I was trying to stop, took a little bit of time, but instead of just lifting up my toes and leaning really far back, especially on ice, you're gonna slip out, you're gonna fall, it's not gonna be a sick day. But what you wanna do is get your belly button lower to the ground and lift up your toes, and you're gonna be able to get a higher edge angle while slowing down and not just slipping out and falling. So That's kind of a nice little key to stopping. Now, one of the last things that I want to cover is how the heck do we strap in? Strapping in, obviously you've done it a bunch if you've been snowboarding, but I want to give you a little tactic that helps me do two things. Strap in way faster and prevent me from having to sit down and stand up like time after time after time. Imagine you're snowboarding 100 runs. You really want to sit down and stand back up? That could waste a lot of energy that you could be putting into having the sickest day ever. So what I like to do is have my front side of my body facing uphill. I will take my heel side edge and jam it into the snow. And what that does is it makes a nice little platform for me to strap in on. Now, as a bonus, the more weight you put on that foot, the more you're sinking into the snow versus slipping out and falling. Yes, you're gonna have to find the little tricks of the trade. You're still gonna have to balance, but this makes it way easier. A lot of people like to strap facing downhill. I find that way harder, so I'm gonna look uphill. The other nice little bonus of this is you can see if anybody's gonna take you out. Don't wanna do that. So I've made a nice little platform. I've dug this heel side edge in a lot. I'll take my backhand and actually grab the high back so I can find some balance, and then I'll put my back foot in and then I'll strap in. Without even strapping in, I'm pretty locked in right now. A nice way to go fast with strapping in is I like to do the heel strap halfway, toe strap halfway, and then double ratchet really fast. But on that note, guys, holy cow, that got super nerdy. There's a lot of valuable information. What I want you to do is watch the video, take out one bullet point and apply that next time you go snowboard. Come back to the video, find another bullet point and just put all these things together. And ideally, it's gonna make you so much more awesome at snowboarding, whether it's getting you off the chairlift safer, getting through the lift line with more confidence, or just becoming like a better ripper and keeping up with your friends. So if you guys dig the content, definitely give it a thumbs up. But if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. Let's start this conversation. And on that note, guys, nothing but love. We out.